people have had to be intubated. We are some of the lowest numbers in the state. And that's very impressive, and to the point where the governor is allowing us to start opening things up, at least in the hospital standpoint, next week, where we can start to do elective surgeries again on Tuesday, which is a good sign. But we have to continue to adhere to these new practices that have been put forth. And as a committee and as a group, we need to start looking and thinking about how this event is going to change our county and the way we do business. I've already started doing that for the hospital. This is going to change the hospital industry forever. And I'll give you a good example, where in the past, we were probably doing 10, maybe 15% of our primary care visits were done via telemedicine. We've been doing it close to 70% over the last 6 weeks of our primary care visits have been telemedicine, and feedback's been very positive. So that's going to completely change the way that we provide those types of services. So I hope all of you are doing well. I hope all of your families are doing well. Please stay in contact with each other. Please, reach out to others and ask how they're doing. I try to make it a point each day to go through my cell phone and just reach out to 3 people each day in our community just to see how they're doing and check in with them. I think that, that I find that helpful for myself, but also I think they appreciate it as well. So let's go ahead and get started. Did everyone get a copy of the meeting minutes and have a chance to review them?
I did.
Yeah.
Okay. Any concerns, questions, changes?
No.
Can we get a motion to approve?
So moved.
So moved. Tom Armail.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, excellent. All right, we'll move right down to get the agenda back up there, Megan. Okay, thank you. New and unfinished business. I'll turn it over to you, Jody. Maybe I'm mute.
Yep, sorry about that. The first item under new and unfinished business was Skyline Hospitalities. As we discussed at our last board meeting, we received an application for them for both pilot assistance, mortgage recording tax, and sales tax exemptions. They have obviously put that project on total hold right now because of coronavirus, but we're hoping that in the near future it will be reopened. As part of that, Joseph Scott and I discussed, and Kurt discussed the ability to move ahead with the mortgage recording tax portion of it, since the benefits associated with that are under $100,000. And we decided that since they're trying to get their bank financing lined up, it would be most appropriate at this point in time to move on the mortgage recording tax and hold off on the sales tax and the pilot agreement until after we hold a public hearing on those portions of it. So with that, I'll turn over the resolutions. There's two resolutions. One is has to do with a review of the project, and the second one is actually the mortgage recording tax exemptions. And if Joe's available, I'll have him talk about those.
Will do, Jody. Thank you. And I apologize that I don't have my video open. My camera is facing away from me for some reason, so I haven't been able to reverse it so that shows my early morning face here. So with respect to the resolutions, as Jody indicated, there's 2 resolutions for consideration. One is the seeker resolution, and the second is the mortgage recording tax resolution. They need to be in the order of the seeker resolution first, and then the mortgage recording resolution second. So perhaps, Megan, you can open up the seeker resolution for the board. There we go.
Can you see it? Okay.
Thank you. The key point, there's 2 key points with the seeker resolution. One is that, as per usual, we defer to the local jurisdictions for seeker review. And here, the town of Hartwick has done a seeker review with respect to the project. So that's item 1. And item 2, the town has adopted a neg deck with respect to the project. So they have done seeker review and it's complete, and there was no significant issues identified. There's a lot of detail at the end of the resolution. I included all the materials from the town of Hartwick, and so for your review, and I'm happy to go through that if you'd like. But again, 2 points are: 1, that we defer to the local jurisdiction for the primary seeker review, and number 2, that it has been done, and it's been done in a fashion that indicates that there's no environmental. And the IDA needs to adopt this resolution first before it considers any other action with respect to the project. And with that, I'll open it up for any comments or questions.
Okay, I don't think there's any. I think that it was pretty straightforward. So we need to move to vote on this. Is everyone comfortable doing that?
Yes, I am.
Yes.
We get a motion?
I'll make the motion, Dave Rowley.
I'll second, Cheryl.
Thank you. And then we have to do a roll call vote on this, Megan. You're on mute.
Sorry about that. Jeff Joyner,
Yes.
David Rowley,
Yes.
Jeff Lord.
I abstain.
Okay. Craig Gelbsman, Tom Armeo,
Yes.
Rick Hulse, Patricia Kennedy,
Yes.
Andrew Marietta,
Yes.
Cheryl Robinson.
Yes.
All right. Thank you all very much. The motion of the seeker is approved. We'll now move down to the approval of the requesting updated appraisal for IOXIS building from Olin Group Appraisers. Jody?
We actually have to do the mortgage resolution first.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
This is Joe Scott again. I'll pick up where Jody left off. This is the resolution where we actually adopt and approve the entering into the mortgage for that facility. What this does is grant the mortgage recording tax with respect to the undertaking of the project. Jody and I are working to schedule a public hearing for the project that's expected to be scheduled for May 13th. There were issues about scheduling the public hearing given the pandemic, the event, as the chairman has indicated. You know, there's issues about gathering, there's issues about whether you can hold a public hearing remotely. And those issues have, for the most part, been resolved by way of governor's guidance. But again, this resolution approves the mortgage, the granting of the mortgage reporting exemption and mortgage reporting tax exemption, excuse me, and do the balance of the financial assistance with respect to the project at the May meeting of the IDA. And with that, I'll open it up for any comments or questions.
Feedback or concerns, anyone?
No concerns.
Okay. Can we get a motion to approve then?
So moved, Patricia.
Second?
Tom?
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you, Tom. All right, and we have to have another roll call vote.
Sure.
Megan?
Jeff Joyner,
Yes.
David Rowley,
Yes.
Jeff Lord,
Abstain.
Craig Gelbsman, Tom Armeo,
Yes.
Rick Hulse, Patricia Kennedy,
Yes.
Andrew Marietta,
Yes.
Cheryl Robinson.
Yes.
All right, thank you. The motion passes. Am I ready to move on from Skyline Drive, Megan?
I believe so, yes.
All right, Jody, we'll go into the next issue regarding the I-Axis building.
Yes, as we discussed last time, we have a potential transfer of ownership with Bioxis. As part of that decision, as part of that discussion with the potential new owners, we sent them an appraised value based on appraisal that was done several years ago. He can confirm with his banks that they will need an updated appraisal. Right now, we'd just like permission to go ahead. They've asked us to hold off on actually starting the appraisal for a few weeks until they can make a determination whether they're going ahead with this project or not. But at this present time, we're pretty optimistic that it is moving forward. And we would like to go back to the original appraiser, Olin, did the initial appraisal and ask them to do an update.
Any questions, comments, concerns?
Yeah, this is, sorry.
No,
Jeff
go ahead,
Lord.
Jeff. Go, Jeff.
Yeah. This is Jeff Lord. Just a thought, just to keep in mind, and I don't know if you've talked about this with Scotty, but if they, in fact, their commercial bank is going to require an appraisal, it's best to coordinate through them and make sure that the appraisal company that we use is accepted by them and is on their approved appraiser list, because you don't want to have to do one and have them ask you to do another one.
That's a good point. We'll reach out to the potential owner and ask him to have his bank confirm that our appraisal is.
Right. Maybe they can add him ahead of time if he's not on the list. Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
My question, Mr. Dave Rowley, was there's a survey on record, correct? Dividing the property between the Axis building, which was the Hall of Fame building, and the actual soccer field complex?
That's correct.
Okay, great.
Both very good points, gentlemen. Thank you. So is everyone comfortable with that?
Just one.
Ultimately, I think whatever happens is that we are likely to want to have that appraisal updated anyway for any potential future purchaser.
Jody, this is Kurt. Just one point. For tax mapping purposes, that the parcel that IOX is on is the entire parcel that runs from Brown Street all the way back to the Otsego Creek, and then it's bounded on the south by the soccer field parcel and on the north by Northern Eagle. The piece that we have with IOX's was only a portion of that, so I don't know appraisal-wise whether the appraisal covered the entire parcel or whether the appraisal just covered the building and the parking lot area. And I guess that would lead to the next question of if there was going to be a transfer of title, what are you talking about transfer? Are you talking about the entire parcel that as it exists, or are you talking about subdividing it and retaining the front portion of it?
We have had a couple of discussions with some of the board members about actually transferring the entire parcel to them, and hopefully that their expansion plans will accommodate the additional land that would go with that. We'll also reach out to the potential buyer and see what his thoughts are on that. Clearly, we would like the road in front of the building to go with the sale. That we don't want to be in a position similar to Roundhouse Road where we own the road that fronts the building. But we'll have those discussions with the potential owner today.
Well, Well, Jody, this is Jeff Lord. The buyer must have an expectation of what he's making an offer on, correct?
Yes, and I believe the appraisal, I mean, we sent copies to everyone a while back. I believe the appraisal covers the entire property. So if we start subdividing it off, it'll reduce the amount of the sale.
Right. And if we do transfer, just again, and it's just for conversation, if we do transfer the entire parcel, including the road, our intent would be to retain an easement and for use of that road? Is that ultimately where we'd be?
Yes, because ultimately that road would actually go down to the end of the soccer field. So we'd like to have an easement on that.
All right, correct. All right, just verifying. Thank you.
That was my question exactly, Jeff, about that road, which leads both to Ioxus and also to a parking area for the soccer fields and also the far end of that soccer field complex. So that answers my question.
But I will also have a discussion today with the town supervisor and see if they would be interested in taking ownership of that road.
One other question. If price matters to the buyer and they don't need all the real estate, changing what they're buying changes obviously their purchase price. So we'd have to be really clear on what exactly they want to have before we worry about an appraisal and if it all works, wouldn't we?
Yes.
All right. Any further discussion regarding this issue? Can I get a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion, Dave Rowley.
Thank you, Dave. Can I get a second?
Tom?
I'll second, Cheryl.
Thank you both. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? All right, excellent. That passed. We'll now move down to the public comment period. I don't know if anybody from the public is on.
Jeff, we actually need to do the payment of bills. It's not on the agenda, but if you could.
Oh.
It's right there. Apologies.
Sure. Okay. Can you let's go through this. Anything on there, Megan, that's
most of
out
them,
of the ordinary?
all of them are, the MMS is the COIDA audit. That's from Monster. The rest are all pretty standard.
Okay.
Unless anyone has any questions on them.
Any questions, concerns, anyone? Motion to approve the expenses for the month?
Tom? This is Jeff.
Thank you both. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same. All right, thank you. These are the deposits.
All ordinary.
Yep. Thank you.
Welcome.
All right, now we can move down to the public comment period. All right, seems like there's no one from the public on. Okay. We don't need an executive session, so we'll just have a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Dave Rowley.
Thank you very much. All right, let's go to the next meeting.
Yeah, bear with me.
Sure. I'll pull up. I got the agenda here too. We're going to do CRC next?
Yes.
All right. Roll call.
Jeff Joyner,
Here.
Dave Rowley,
Here.
Jeff Lord,
Here.
Craig Galbsman, Cheryl Robinson,
Here.
Patricia Kennedy, Tom Armeo,
Here.
Andrew Marietta,
Here.
Rick Hulse. Okay.
All right, thank you. I've already done the chairman's remarks. It'll be the same from the previous meeting. Approval of the minutes from the March 26th meeting.
I'll make the
Cheryl, so
motion.
moved.
I'll
Thank you
second
both.
Cheryl's.
All right, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. We'll move down to new and unfinished business, providing a CRC funds to upfront emergency forgivable loan program. Jody?
Yes, this was on the agenda from last week when we put the agenda together. Since that time, the County of Otsego Planning Department, our office, have been in communication with the Office of Community Renewal regarding transferring or amending applications to allow for emergency use for businesses. The county had received a $200,000 micro enterprise grant, and the city of Oneonta had also received a $100,000 grant, which we were hoping to switch into emergency payments for small businesses dealing with this epidemic. The county was extremely concerned with being able to upfront the money because of their deficit projections right now based on loss of sales tax and loss of bed tax. So we had been in discussions with the Otsego County Development Corporation about the two of us upfronting the money toward this program and ultimately being reimbursed by the Office of Community Renewal. It turns out that the regulations that the Office of Community Renewal are placing on the type of emergency assistance we can do is extremely, it's almost the same as a regular grant program. There's really no provisions to waive any of the requirements. And as such, we have to document that they're going to create jobs associated with this emergency assistance. And ultimately, we have 3 months in order to dispense the money and to voucher for it back. And given that the amount of paperwork associated with it, neither the county nor our office has the ability to handle that volume of paperwork in that short of time. Just with custom electronics, for example, one drawdown request that we just submitted was 83 sheets of paper that we had to provide documentation in order to do that drawdown. So when you're talking about maybe 100 different small businesses, the volume of work is unbelievable. So at this point in time, we're just having discussions. We're still waiting to hear back from the Otsego County Development Corporation whether they would like to participate with us. But at this point in time, we're not recommending until we hear from the county, because the county is actually served funds. They have the ultimate say if let's go ahead with this or not. And we haven't heard back from them. So it's really just a discussion that we're having right now, but we don't require any action today.
Okay. Thank you for that update. Any questions from anybody on the committee? Okay. I don't believe there's an executive session that's needed. So can I get a motion to adjourn?
So,
Thank you. All right, we'll now move into the IDA meeting. See, no, that's wrong. Where's the agenda?
We don't have an LDC meeting today.
Okay, we don't. So we are done for the day?
We are done for the day.
Yes, we are.
All right, excellent. Well, thank you all very much. I hope continue to be safe and well, and if you need anything, let me know.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Have a good day, everybody. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Take care.
Stay healthy.